Hey there, this is Daryl again. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome. Today we're gonna tie up a loop fly streamer, believe it or not. The process is very similar to doing a sucker spawn egg pattern, but it won't. When we get done with it, it won't look like a egg spawn fly for salmon or for steelhead or even for trout. So this we're going to tie up for some speckled trout. You could use it for false albacore, maybe bluefish, but we're going to be tying it up, and hopefully it'll catch this winter some speckled sea trout. All right, let's get showing you what the fly will look like.
So this is the loop fly, and it's tied in loops, but then we have to cut them and then comb it out. It can be a simple pattern. I maybe complicated this one by using 3 different colors. Normally it's maybe 2 colors and on there, but we will see how well it works. But I'm going to show you how we tied this one here. All right, let's go ahead and we'll take out of the hook, out of the vise. And the hook we're going to use is a Gamakatsu SL12S in a size 2. And I'm going to go ahead and debarb it because that's how I roll in my fly fishing. And we'll put that in. In there. And the thread I'm going to use is some ultra thread in 140 white, and we'll go ahead and start this just behind the hook eye, maybe a hook eye's width or a half, and we'll take this back to where the bend of the hook starts, which is normally just above where your barb was. We'll snip that off. And the next material we're going to start with, believe it or not, is flat diamond braid in pearl. And this stuff is normally used for wrapping bodies and things like that, but we're going to use it to make a fly out of on there. And I'm going to struggle with using the whole thing. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to put at least a length of it back behind the hook. And then we're going to at least put 1 wrap under it to lock it in. And then I'm going to put a loop on my side here that's just about as long as the loop that, or the tag end. And we're going to try to make sure we keep that on the side of the hook. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put another loop on the other side about the same length. And of course, you know, this is going to be the mess where I'm just being too lazy to figure out the length, trying to conserve on my material. And we're going to tie that on the opposite side. And then I'm going to put one right on the top, just to start it off that way. And that'll be just about the same length. I mean, I wouldn't be painstakingly trying to measure these. Eyeballing is good enough. And then we'll put another loop. And maybe just a little shorter than the loops. That way it'll give it like a tapered effect. And then we'll take it to the other side. Eyeballing the length. And then we'll put one on the top. Trying to keep it up there. And then I'm going to tie this back for now. And then I'm going to put a couple rows of some silver, or that's root beer, got it in the wrong bag, but some silver diamond braid. I don't know how I screwed that up, but I managed to. And I'm going to tie that this way because I'm not going to put a loose end. Because I only want the silver on the sides for now. And then I'm going to come around to the other side. kind of fold it over about the same length. And we don't want to put the silver on the top. We want to keep that kind of like forming a lateral line. So I'm going to kind of put that over here. And I'm going to take the pearl and make a top loop. And trying to keep that on the top. Oh, sorry about that. And we'll fold this back and lock it in place. And next we're going to do is we're going to put another little loop here. And the only issue you might have with doing this fly will be eventually crowding the eye. So we just want to make sure we're not doing that. Take it over to the far side. And then we'll put another little loop here. You can see how this is kind of very similar to tying a spawning sucker spawn type egg pattern, but we're using body braid. And then we'll similar size loop right there. Trying to get that out of my way, sorry about that. And we're going to cut this end off for now. And then I'm going to use the root beer. I'm going to put one loop on top. And I'm going to put one loop kind of like right here on the top, just like I did the tail. This is kind of like the top of the back of the minnow. And I'm going to fold that over. And I'm going to put one about that, you know, whatever I feel like the length is. And keeping that on top. And I'm going to fold that back over, get that out of the way, and I'm going to do one more loop on this side. And one more loop here on the far side. And then I'm going to lock that in and trim this off. And then we're going to form the head. And then I'm just going to trim that off just a little bit here. We'll whip finish. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in here with the scissors and just cut those loops out. All right, then I'm going to take a bodkin and I'm going to try to separate the braid a little bit before I take a comb to it. All right. Find a comb. Maybe this will work. All right. Next we're going to put in some eyes. I'm going to use some Hareline fluorescent fly eyes, 3 millimeters in fluorescent yellow. This could be optional. You don't need to do it. But, you know, it always looks nice when you got eyes on your flies. All right. Then we're going to use some thin UV. Let that soak in there for a little bit. And then we'll do some on the underside. And we'll put some and lock it in there. All right, and that's it. Kind of like a little mullet on there. And that's a loop fly, loop streamer fly. All right. I'll probably cut down some of this so you don't have to watch all the...
Yeah, I'll probably be cutting some stuff out or speeding it up so you don't have to go through it so boring, but it got a little complicated using 3 of those flat diamond braids from Hareline to create that little creature for this winter, for trout and for that. Maybe, yeah, just maybe it might work. You know, it's under that 3-inch range where it might work for false albacore, and maybe bluefish, things like that. Maybe even stripers. But yeah, give it a tie. Tie it up. Let me know what you think. and we'll see what happens this winter with it. I'll report back. All right. Talk to you later. I'm Daryl, signing off. See you on the water.